Hello and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Excuse my tippy-tappy co-star down there. It is peach season here in North Carolina. It is August. We've just inundated with peaches and we've had some in the refrigerator for a while that were ready and I just hadn't done anything with them. And then we got more in our produce box this week. So it's time to make more peaches. And I saw this recipe in Vivian Howard's Deep Run Roots cookbook that we hadn't done, and I'd been wanting to do it. So today we're going to be making country ham wrapped and roasted peaches. So the first thing that we're going to make for this is there are three separate sort of pieces to this recipe. And the first thing is gingered goat cheese. So I'm going to be grating some ginger. Now, I'm probably not going to actually measure the amount of ginger, especially since it like starts out really big when you grate it when it's frozen, and then it deflates quite a lot. But it's a lot of ginger. She wants a lot of ginger in this recipe, so I'm going to sort of estimate by sight, and then it's going to look like a lot less when I'm done, but because it's going to deflate and defrost, but that's okay. And I'm sure I've said before, but I just keep peeled ginger in the freezer in a bag, and it's so much easier to grate and then I don't have to chop it up, and it stays fresh. I'm going to put it back in the freezer. So the rest of this part is goat cheese. So I'm going to just kind of estimate exactly how much from these containers based on weight. Excuse me, just gonna. So I'm gonna put this in here first. Having a time today. That was much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to wash my hands so maybe I don't have to struggle so much with the other package, because I want to keep that package pretty much intact. This is just plain goat cheese. You can buy flavored goat cheese, but obviously we're going to be flavoring this ourselves. Pretend I'm clean cook. Okay, so now I'm just going to estimate the amount I need from this package. And hopefully we will end up with approximately the right amount of cheese, but I'm sure it doesn't matter. I'm a little bit off. All right, I'll put that back in the refrigerator in just a minute. So now we have our goat cheese, and we have some buttermilk. That I did measure. There we go. And now I'm going to put in my ginger. I just didn't want it to get stuck on the bottom, so I put that in last. Because the bottom is about to be the top. She says to do this in a food processor, but it's such a small amount. And the last thing that we need in here is a little bit of salt. Okay, so now let me put this away, and I'm going to go get the blender part for this. Okay, so now I just need to put my blender piece on here. And we're just going to blend it until smooth. All right. Let's check this texture. She says it should be soft and creamy and spreadable, not runny. Which I think is what we've got there. Let me sort of, it looks like not all of my goat cheese is even incorporated yet. It's all kind of stuck to the sides. So we will try that again. And that's a little potentially runny. Let's see if I've got everything incorporated or not. Looks like almost, but I should have kept my goat cheese out, because if we want this thicker, we need to add more goat cheese. So I'm gonna go get that out of the refrigerator and add a little bit more. I'm gonna put maybe another ounce or so in there. And then give it another whir. I think it will be a little less runny after it sits in the refrigerator for a little while, because that's pretty runny. I'm going to put it in a container and let it sit in the refrigerator and see if I feel like we need to add anything else to it. It is, although it is not quite the amount, it's just about the amount that she says it should be, that it says this recipe should make. So maybe I will add a little more goat cheese. Just a little bit more. I don't know that I've told my husband there's goat cheese in this, but it's not his favorite. All right, I'm just gonna call that good. Find a container to put this in and get it all out of this container and put it in the refrigerator. I'm gonna give it a little taste. Little gingery, not as much as I thought it would be given the amount in there, but also savory. All right, I'm gonna put this in our refrigerator, and hopefully when we are ready to eat, it'll be a little bit thicker than this. If not, I might just whisk in some more goat cheese. I don't know, we'll see. So the next thing we need to make is balsamic honey. So I've got my honey. And this bowl with this little teeny whisk, because it makes just about 1/4 cup total, so I don't need anything bigger. And instead of getting something else out to measure, I'm gonna go ahead and use this, even though I don't really need to. So this is supposed to be aged balsamic vinegar. Again, it's what I have in my pantry, which I don't know how aged it is. It doesn't say aged, but ideal for cold dishes. I don't know. That's great. Okay, that's what I get for using the wrong measuring tool for the job. Put a little splash more since I lost some on my counter. Now all I need to do is try to get these whisked up together, which, you know, the honey just needs to sort of dissolve in the vinegar. And I'm just going to keep it in this bowl at room temperature, like she says, until we need it. And I'll probably leave the whisk in it so we can give it another little whisk just in case the honey tries to separate. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but sometimes that actually came together pretty easily. Okay, so that's it except for the peaches. Now we're going to deal with these peaches. They're supposed to be large, ripe Freestone peaches, which is what I believe these are, Freestone. She does not say that we need to peel these, but I know my family and I'm going to peel them. It might make the country ham not stick very well, But I'm going to go ahead and get these peeled, and I'm pretty sure I have done this before on the channel. But what you do is make a little X on the bottom, put these in boiling water for like 30 seconds maximum, and then these were in the refrigerator, so I'm not going to worry about water bathing them or giving them an ice bath afterwards to stop the cooking, because usually they stay pretty well chilled after that. But if yours are at room temperature, you definitely want to stop the cooking. And then I will come back and we will cut these to the appropriate size. Be right back. Okay, so I've got a place to put my skins. So now, hopefully these will peel nicely. What I'm going to do is go ahead and cut them into quarters like I usually do. And yeah, it looks like the peel is going to come off very well. Well, that's not happening. But the peel is coming off, so that's good. Except for the occasional little spot. These become a little more difficult to deal with when they are whole and skinless, but that's okay. And I just need to try to get them apart here. This one feels like it might not have been fully ripe, but that's fine since we are going to cook it. We're going to. So now I'm going to cut these into basically eighths, which is approximately the size that she says, 1.5 inches thick at their widest point. Probably maybe a little bit less than that, but that's a little bit more. So 6 might have been perfect, but I'm going to go ahead and do the eighths. The good news is if there are any bad spots, little bad spots on them, you can easily trim those off and they're going to be covered. The way she does it makes me think that she only gets about 6, actually less, 4 pieces approximately per peach. So, although it looks more like, the picture looks a little bit bigger. So, maybe I will use that for, because those look really too big. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do the other 2 in quarters. And I guess we'll see. Because with the number of slices of country ham or prosciutto, which I'm going to be using prosciutto today because it is hard to find country ham sliced already, but I can get prosciutto sliced already. So I'm going to do this one maybe in 6ths. I feel like I did the wrong thing with the quarters. So we're going to doing a few different things here, so that's interesting. There we go. Anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna wash my hands so I can open this package. So now I just have this tray to put these down on. This is not what we're going to cook them on, but I'm going to try to very carefully. These should be 1/10 of an inch thick, so I thought this was perfect. These pre-sliced ones. I'm going to go with these first. and wrap each one and put the seam side, well, we're going to put the seam side down when we put them in the oven for sure. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see. So she said it should go around roughly 1.5 times. I'm trying to get a seam side on a flat side. Almost. All right, that's fine. It seems like the 6ths are, with this size peach, is about right. My oven is not quite heated to where it's supposed to be. We're heating it to 500 degrees. That's done. I'm going to clean up a little bit and get the rest going. So I've got, she says to use a 9 by 12 inch baking sheet. I don't have that size, I don't think, but this is bigger, so that's fine. And I probably have more pieces than she intended, because it's supposed to be 12 to 14 pieces, and I have 12 right there plus these. So anyway, this is going to go in my preheated oven for 5 minutes. All right, so this is my very hot baking tray, 500 degrees for 5 minutes. And now I'm going to put some olive oil on the bottom. And I'm supposed to line these up seam side down so they don't touch. Supposedly in one row, I'm probably going to end up with at least 2 rows here, but I'm definitely going to make sure they don't touch. Try to get a little bit of oil on the bottom here. But I have the nonstick foil so that it won't stick to my tray. Good enough. All right, these are going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes. Oh, wait, nope, I forgot one more thing. I'm supposed to drizzle a little more olive oil on top. Good enough. All right, in the oven, 10 minutes, and we have one more thing to do. And that is in the middle of the oven. Sorry, that's in the middle of our 500 degree oven, 10 minutes. And the last thing I need to do for this recipe is to roughly chop some nuts. This is Viv's Addiction, which I will link up here. We've made before. They are sweet, a little bit spicy, crunchy, roasted pecans. So that's what we should have. Another one for good measure. And they're just supposed to be roughly chopped. You could use sort of any glazed nuts you like, I'm sure, but I think the sweet and spicy is a good complement to the peaches. Just trying for no huge pieces here, but there we go. I'm going to call that roughly chopped and put these back here with my vinegar. My husband will be very happy to have the rest of these to eat. He's been snacking on them since we made them, but making sure to leave enough for this recipe. So this is my goat cheese, and I feel like it is too thin. So while we wait for that, I'm going to try to whisk in some more goat cheese and keep my fingers crossed that that works. I'm going to test to see how it does on this plate. Not too bad. We're going to call that good. I just don't want to I don't want it to be too goat cheesy, if you know what I'm saying. It's still very gingery. I feel like the ginger has gotten more pronounced. Anyway, so I feel like maybe I should have used food processor. Maybe that would have helped. Maybe the Ninja just thinned it too much. I don't know, but we're going to call that good. I'm going to go ahead and put some on the rest of my plates so I can dish them all up at once. Kind of annoys me when the recipe includes another ingredient and you end up not using all of it. So like we're supposed to use about 2/3 of this for 4 servings, which is what this is supposed to make. So then I have just random pieces of a recipe in my refrigerator. And that, I don't know, kind of annoys me. So this has been exactly 10 minutes, but I'm going to put it back in because none of it seems brown or crispy enough to me. I want to be a little bit crispier. Okay, these were in for approximately 5 extra minutes, and I think they're done. So what I'm going to do is just put some on each plate here. And I'm really glad that I had the non-stick aluminum foil on there. I think I'm going to call that enough for these plates for now. And now I'm going to drizzle these with the balsamic honey. A couple spoonfuls for each. And garnish with the nuts. That's it. We'll let you know what it looks like, take some pictures, and let you know what we think in just a minute. On this episode of Cooking the Books with Heather, you watched me make country ham wrapped and roasted peaches from Vivian Howard's Deep Run Roots cookbook. This was, she said, sort of a take on prosciutto and melon, but she wanted to go ahead and she wanted to sort of crisp up the prosciutto a little bit. And she also said you could use thinly sliced country ham. If you can find that, I'm sure it would be great. Prosciutto is so much easier to find, at least where I am, than finding someone to thinly slice country ham. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. My husband, not as much, because there is goat cheese in the gingered goat cheese. I think I got my gingered goat cheese a little bit too runny, so that's a thing to watch out for. Maybe, I mean, the measurement here is in cups of goat cheese, and I tried to take that to ounces and not actually measure it in cups, so I'm not sure if that was why. But next time I would try to measure it in cups. But also I would probably not quite put in all of the buttermilk to start with and just try to get it to the consistency that she suggests. Mine sort of ran over the plate a little bit too much. I enjoyed that. My daughter, who enjoys goat cheese, liked that. I gave her the rest of it for school, where she was going to dip her apples in it. I think she ended up basically just drinking it out of the little condiment cup. But so she enjoyed that. If you don't like goat cheese, may not be your favorite thing. But I did really enjoy the prosciutto and peaches and a little bit of the balsamic honey. I do have some balsamic honey left, and I will probably make a vinaigrette out of that when I'm back to cooking more. Because if you've seen our recent video, we've had a refrigerator issue, which means I haven't been cooking as much. Been back to cooking some more, but it's very seat of your pants and trying not to have leftovers because we have no space. So, and our freezer is full. We got a little refrigerator. It is full. We're just trying to get by until the refrigerator is fixed. So we're really glad we did a lot of this before the refrigerator broke, so we can still keep bringing you videos. Anyway, I enjoyed it. If you try it and you enjoy it, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed watching me make this, please hit the subscribe button, come back and watch me make something else next week.